Like we mentioned earlier, controversial Pastor James Nganga has been arraigned in court. He was arraigned in court this morning and charged with causing death by dangerous driving. He was also charged for failing to report an accident and conspiracy to defeat justice. He was, of course, charged alongside two other police officers. We now have our Timothy Otieno, who is on the ground in Limuru. Timothy, thank you very much for joining us. What else do we know apart from the charges that have been according to Pastor Nganga?
Yes, thank you very much, Betty. For now, it has been confirmed that Apostle James Nganga will have to spend another night at police cells because the magistrate here at the Limuru Law Court has directed that he will give his final ruling as to whether Nganga as well as the three co-accused will be given bond or not, and the ruling is going to take place tomorrow at 11 a.m. But meanwhile, he has directed that both Nganga as well as the three others remain in custody until then. So far, crowd have dispersed here at the Limuru Law Courts. Pastor Nganga has left the area, but Betty, for now, he will have to be under police custody.
Timothy, there are concerns that, if he would have been, let out, he would have interfered with the witnesses. Tell us how the prosecution, what the prosecution had to say about this particular plea by the defense team.
Yeah, it was a very heated and intense debate between the prosecution side and the defense side. Of course, the defense side was requesting the court to grant immediate bond for Apostle Nganga as well as three others. Of course, the prosecution was not for it, but even though all four have been charged with all four charges jointly, they each gave specific situations and scenarios why they would have preferred to be given bond. Of course, Apostle Nganga's defense lawyer saying that Nganga is a man of influence, is a man who is known to the public, and therefore he cannot run away, because the prosecution had suggested that perhaps if Nganga was given a bond, then he would interfere with the witnesses, being that he's an apostle and he's a man of influence. But the defense has said that cannot take place because Apostle Nganga has been reporting to the police, and he presented himself at the traffic police headquarters when he was called upon, so there would be no reason as to why he should be detained. But for the other two who are police officials at the Tigoni police station, that is Christopher Nzioka as well as Patrick Bayer, who are also accused of conspiracy to defeat justice by intentionally concealing the identity of Pastor Nganga. Of course, Patrick Bayer's case, his lawyer was insisting that he may not be able to raise the needed amount for bond, and therefore his defense lawyer was requesting that he be released on free bond, and it was said that he has also health issues and may not be able to raise that amount. But for now, Registrant Magistrate Timothy Otieno has directed that he is going to give further guidance tomorrow at 11 a.m. as to whether all four will be released on bond or not. Becky.
Timothy, is it clear, how, these police officers tried to defeat justice? Did they give a bribe? Is it clear up until now what exactly they did?
The details to the case were not given vividly. Remember, this is just the first hearing, and basically the first hearing is for the accused, all four of them, to take a plea whether they're guilty or not. But it was said that for the case of Christopher Nzioka, who is a police constable at the Tigoni police station, he is believed and he is accused of concealing the identity of Pastor Nganga, who at the time he knew was a suspect in the case. So that is specifically for Christopher Nzioka, and that was the only information given in regards to that. But both of them have been accused of concealing their identity. Basically, that means they are accused that they knew Pastor Nganga was a suspect in the accident, but they took intentional steps to prevent his arrest and him being identified by the public at that time. So those are the charges for the two police constables, Betty.
Timothy, maybe finally, let's talk about the mood that was in court earlier on today during the court proceedings. You mentioned that, very many people came, there were droves of people in and outside the court. Do we know if the family of Masinjeri, the lady who was in that car after that rammed into that suspected Range Rovers from the Pastor Nganga hit, do we know about the family? Was it there, and what were they saying?
Yes, the family was here. Their presence was felt because when they arrived with placards. They were holding some placards written "Justice for Mercy, Justice for Mercy, Justice for Mercy." Of course, their placards had to be confiscated because under the rules of the court, you're not supposed to have them. So those placards were taken away. They were very agitated, and in fact, I managed to speak with the father-in-law of Masinjeri right after the directive by the registered magistrate, and he was telling me that he is very, very confident that justice will prevail. He is very confident, and he says that he knows that the courts will do the right thing. But very interesting to note is we had claims by some of the residents here that this is not the first time that Apostle Nganga has been involved in this controversy involving an accident, because while he was speaking to the father-in-law of Mercy, who says he's confident, another individual, a pastor by the name George Kamau, came forward and he said his son was knocked down by the same apostle in 2012, and that up to today the case was manipulated and pinned on somebody else, but he insists that it was Pastor Nganga, and that is in 2012. But Betty, I have to say, KTN cannot independently verify these claims for now. But when it comes to the mood of the family, of course, they were very agitated. However, they expressed confidence that due process will take course and that justice will prevail, Betty.
All right, Timothy Otieno, thank you very much for that detailed outlook on what exactly took place there in the morning. We understand that Pastor Nganga will still sleep under police in custody this evening, and a ruling will be made tomorrow by resident magistrate Timothy Ntachu. We'll keep you updated on that.